Hi, I'm Katrina Aguilera, and I'm a TIP volunteer, or was a TIP volunteer, and a bereaved parent 2 times, average life, I guess, and had a baby, Quentin, and he died of SIDS, 29 days old, and that's when I first was introduced to TIP. We were sleeping, and maybe it's mother instinct. I woke up out of a dead sleep and I just knew something was wrong. I don't know, I can't even explain it. As a parent or a mom, I think a lot of people would know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, it's like a vivid implant in your mind that you'd never forget. And I felt him not breathing, and my husband at the time, we were kind of disarrayed and kind of panicking on what to do, and he immediately jumped in and started CPR and called 911 and had 911 on the phone. Pretty shooken up, and first responders got there and they pronounced him dead. We were able to say our goodbyes and stuff, and that's when TIP was there. And they came out and they were talking, because I had younger kids at the time. Looking back now, I was in that cloud stage of not knowing what happened. I had TIP volunteers there by my side. You try to prepare for things that are unfathomable, but you don't quite know until you experience that. Having to plan a funeral or a wake or anything was not something that any parent wants to do or should do.
My name is Mike Reese. I'm the sheriff here in Multnomah County. Well, I've been in law enforcement for 30 years, and I have been, as a deputy sheriff and as a Portland police officer on the scene of many tragic incidents where TIP has arrived and provided exceptionally kind and compassionate services to people in grief, and that's happened over most of my career. That initial moment of grief that is completely unexpected for a loved one that's lost someone is critically important, and having a trained professional that can help them begin that healing process immediately is really important. It's something that we're not trained to do as first responders. I've been there. It's really hard, and it drains you emotionally as well. And having an organization like TIP that can step in and provide that service is critically important.
After first responders leave, they have a job to do. They're there to do a job and then they leave. Where TIP, they stay with you, they help you, they comfort you, they answer questions, they give you resources. After they had left, I was able to keep in contact with them. Really wish that they were in every city. You need support and people that are just there for you.
I'm John Norm, the fire chief at Clark County Fire and Rescue. I am very happy to support TIP. I'm glad that we were able to call them here in Clark County. I utilized them previously in Multnomah County for years and years. I believe that I was probably on one of the first incidents that TIP responded to, and I know that from that point forward, as a firefighter, I reminded our company officers, hey, there's TIP available, and we slowly grew that awareness and that understanding and had them out there. But TIP has been an important resource in this area that I can speak to for 3 decades, and I'm very happy to have them here. As a firefighter and paramedic, I'm trained to focus on a very specific function, which is dealing with the fire, dealing with somebody entrapped in a vehicle, dealing with a cardiac arrest where somebody's heart is stopped, dealing with respiratory problems where they can't breathe. And those tend to be very technically focused items, and I'm a technically focused person. But when that incident's done, it's hard for me as a responder to switch gears and be an emotional support person. It's just not necessarily in my toolbox. So having somebody available that has training in those areas, has skills in those areas, and feels comfortable dealing with that is a great relief to me. that person is part of our team as an overall response organization. We are trained to deal with the emergency at hand, and they are trained to support us and to support the other people there. And it's a great asset for us to have. I think that if TIP volunteers weren't available, it would put a lot more stress on our fire and EMS and law enforcement responders, because we feel a need to help the people, and again, sometimes with skills we don't necessarily have. But it would also leave a hole in the lives of the people that didn't receive some of the help that TIP currently provides for them.
My name is Derek Rashid. I've been a TIP volunteer for going on 18 years now. I myself have had a few tragic situations in my personal life where, again, having the benefit of TIP, being there for me has been really, really huge, help for me and my family, that there's this. When you think about things like that, when you think about the impact of those type of things like that, it just really kind of gets you a little emotional. That for me, I had a daughter who was murdered, And so again, TIP was there for me, as I went through that process. And again, also, I had to respond to the scene of an incident that where again, someone was murdered also in my family. And I didn't know that at the time of responding to the scene. I was in Multnomah County Jail and got the beep, and so I responded. When I got there, it ended up being a family member that was murdered. And I didn't know that, when I got to the scene. And so, so those type of things like that is just having the support, in situations that's very critical like that. Also let me see the value of what TIP brings to the table, is what I personally got myself, is what also I can give also to others. I've seen the benefit of what it did for me. Being a part of TIP, we got psychologists, we got doctors, we got all type of people that's there just to help us, that's a part of this team, providing the people with the emotional first aid, helping them walk through what they're going through. Most people don't know what to do in time of crisis like that. And to be able to give guidance as to step by step, in a way that it can help them to process what they're going through and to kind of make next decisions, next moves, next steps. That's what it is. It's just the support that we bring to the people in the time of need. It's invaluable. It's invaluable for that support. It's really invaluable. It's good stuff. Good stuff.